I am the true heiress. On the day I returned home, my so-called brother sneered at me. I don't care about blood ties. Someone as shabby as you deserves to be my sister. Then he shielded another exquisitely dressed girl behind him. In my heart, there's only Paula as my sister. Don't even think about competing with her for anything. I was utterly speechless. Hey kid, what gives you the right to act so arrogant? Ever considered the possibility that you might be the one who was mistakenly taken in? Hello, everyone, welcome to my channel. Subscribe us to read wonderful novels every day. Now the story begins. My name is Naomi. After living in an orphanage for 18 years, I suddenly learned that I am the heiress of the Roderick family conglomerate. The Roderick family saw me by chance while doing charity work, and I looked too much like Mrs. Roderick. They became suspicious and took me for a paternity test. I must truly be their biological daughter. In the hospital, my birth parents held me and wept bitterly. Suddenly, I noticed a line of text appearing in the air. Is the plot of the true and fake heiress about to unfold? Watch as the female lead returns to her wealthy family, defeats the imposter, and reclaims everything that rightfully belongs to her. The female lead isn't necessarily decided yet. What if the real heiress is truly wicked? Then the fake heiress would be the protagonist. Stop arguing. Whoever survives till the end becomes the female lead. These words kept popping up one after another, like bullet comments. I was the only one who could see them, as if there were an audience beyond this world, watching our every move. A question mark slowly appears above my head, judging by the barrage comments. I'm the real heiress, while the Roderick family has a fake heiress who took my place. Between her and me, there can only be one female lead. So we must compete for the Roderick family's heiress status. If my biological parents truly can't see clearly and favor the fake daughter, then I can't stay there to suffer either. But then again, their favoritism is worthless. Yet the Roderick family seems quite wealthy. If necessary, it's still worth fighting for. Good child, you've suffered. Mom and Dad will definitely make it up to you in the future. I truly have no feelings for relatives I'm meeting for the first time. Since I was switched at birth, who did you bring home that year? Hearing this, Mr. and Mrs. Roderick's expressions turned somewhat unpleasant. Mr. Roderick said to me, "There's still a girl at home named Paula. It must have been the hospital's mistake that led to you being switched. But Paula is also innocent. She's still young, and with no news about her biological parents, we can't just kick her out." Mrs. Roderick also nodded. The Roderick family has raised her for over a decade after all. But don't worry, Naomi, you're our biological child, and we won't let you suffer any injustice. We won't force you to like her either. Once she grows up, she can move out. I nodded. Their suggestion seemed reasonable enough. On the way to Roderick's house by car, bullet comments popped up above my head again. I feel both girls are innocent. Can't they just be good sisters? Why must they fight to the death? Upstairs, Paula stole Naomi's identity in the first place, making Naomi suffer for so many years. How is that innocent? The bullet comments kept arguing about the relationship between me and the fake heiress. Some people hope I won't engage in petty female rivalry and should forgive Paula. Another group believes I was the victim all along and should retaliate. Paula did occupy my identity for so many years, enjoying everything that should have been mine. I'm human too. I feel jealousy, and I hold grudges. As long as she doesn't offend me, I certainly won't provoke her either. At worst, we can just ignore each other, but there's absolutely no way I could get along with her like best friends. On the way back to the Roderick household, Mrs. Roderick took my hand and said, "Naomi, tomorrow your parents will take you to register your household. Your previous name was too casual. Would you like to change it?" She remembered that the name Paula was originally meant for her biological daughter, me. Forget it. Let's just call her Naomi Roderick. Names are just labels after all. Roderick family living room. A man and a woman approached, looking about the same age as me. Mr. Roderick, Mrs. Roderick have already called them to explain the situation. "Naomi, this is Paula." "Paula." Naomi just came home. As the older sister, take care of your younger sister. Paula was dressed exquisitely, clearly a pampered young lady from a wealthy family. Her eyes were red and swollen, obviously from crying. But why does she seem so young? She forced a smile and tentatively reached for my hand. Hello, Naomi. I nodded uncomfortably. The boy next to me looked displeased. Paula greeted you. Why are you so cold, mister? Roderick glared at him and scolded. Shut up, you brat. That's your sister, Mrs. Roderick casually introduced to me. Naomi, this is your brother. I nodded. So he's the one called Simon. Before I could speak, the boy still maintained that superior attitude. She's not worthy to be my sister. I don't have such a shabby sister, even if we're related by blood. I have no feelings for her. Then he pulled Paula behind him. Let me tell you, the only sister I'll acknowledge is Paula. You're not allowed to bully her or try to take anything from her, mister. Roderick immediately slapped him. Say one more word and see what happens. Whether you admit it or not, Naomi is our biological daughter, Mrs. Roderick also stated. If you don't want this sister, then don't, but my daughter has been wronged, and I must make it up to her. I quickly grabbed hold of Mrs. Roderick and said, Mom, Dad, I'm fine. Hearing this, Mrs. Roderick pulled me into a tight embrace, overcome with emotion. From the hospital until now, this was the first time I had called them Mom and Dad. Enough, Paula suddenly spoke up, interrupting the chaotic argument. She first apologized to me. I'm sorry. I only found out today that I'm not my parents' biological daughter. I'm really sorry for taking over your life. As she spoke, her eyes turned red again. Then she wiped her tears and said, Brother, the things I have now were never meant to be mine. You can't treat Naomi like this. She's already suffered enough, Paula said as she removed her expensive necklace and watch from herself. Then she casually put them on me. A fleeting look of pain flashed in her eyes. She wore an expression that said, though reluctant, I don't deserve to keep them. I won't fight for what doesn't belong to me, Mommy, Dad, Naomi. I've decided, after school starts, I'll move into the dorm. Once I'm an adult, I'll definitely leave this place. Please let me stay with you a little longer, my cheap older brother said reluctantly. Paula, you don't have to do this. We've shared so many years of feelings. Who dares to drive you away? With that, he shot me a meaningful glare. Brother, it's not about rushing or not. The truth is, I've been occupying someone else's rightful place all along, from the very beginning until now. Paula has always conducted herself with grace and propriety, without the slightest impropriety. Even though it was hard to accept, she still came to terms with her true identity. Looking at the daughter they had cherished for over a decade, Mr. Roderick and Mrs. Roderick felt heartbroken and reluctant, but this was the best solution. They would ensure Paula lived well outside, but couldn't forcibly keep her at the expense of their own biological daughter. Watching everyone's sentimental yet helpless expressions, I slowly raised my hand. Wait a minute. Everyone turned their eyes toward me. Paula, right? How old are you this year? Paula sniffled. 16 years old. Only 16, I exclaimed in shock. I then pointed at Simon beside me. What about him, Mrs. Roderick said. Your brother is almost 18. Wow, maybe it's because I'm malnourished and look a bit younger than my age, or perhaps because I'm a girl. My parents subconsciously assumed the switched at-birth child would also be a girl. I frowned deeply. This sigh. I'm also 18. Mr. Roderick, Mrs. Roderick, Paula, I timidly said. So, did we get one thing wrong? I've already done a paternity test, but Paula and Simon haven't done it yet. What nonsense are you talking about? Did you get the age wrong? Simon gradually grew flustered. The living room fell into a deathly silence. After a long while, Mr. Roderick was the first to speak. Paula, Simon, you too. Dad, Simon interrupted. This is impossible. Naomi came out of nowhere. Who knows if she used some trick? Let's not be fooled by her. I was utterly speechless. What's with the attitude, bro? Just said you don't recognize me, but maybe you're the one who got switched at birth. Got the nerve to look down on me. Turns out you've been insulting yourself all along. Simon turned red with embarrassment from my scolding. Paula's emotions have been like a roller coaster, with constant ups and downs. Just when she had finally come to terms with not being biologically related, now it seems her brother might be the one who isn't blood related. All right then, Let's just all take a paternity test. Paula calmly plucked a few strands of her hair. At this point, there's nothing she can't accept anymore. As for Simon, he has no choice but to do it. Case solved. Paula is the biological daughter of the Roderick family. I and Simon were switched at birth. Simon had pale lips, unable to utter a word, and collapsed as he went upstairs back to his room. I rolled my eyes. TCH, how rude. His mental resilience can't even compare to Paula. Mrs. Roderick sighed. Simon needs some time to come to terms with it. Back then, Mrs. Roderick was staying at her parents' home during her first pregnancy. Unexpectedly, an earthquake struck the area, causing her to go into premature labor. She and several other expectant mothers were placed together by rescue workers. Amid the chaos, accidents were bound to happen, which is why Simon and I got switched. But as for the truth of the matter, Mr. Roderick has already sent someone to investigate. Currently, it's suspected that Simon's biological parents may no longer be alive. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been sent to the orphanage. Paula let out a couple of heh-heh laughs into the air. She slowly sat down beside me. She reached out and took the necklace off my neck. Then she also took the watch back. Still mine, hee-hee. She grinned foolishly, baring her teeth. Suddenly, she looked up and met my gaze. She felt a bit embarrassed. Little sister, no, wait, big sister, I've already used all these. If you like them, just ask Mom and Dad to buy you new ones. As she spoke, she bumped me with her hip. Our family isn't short on money, just buy new ones. Ah, I raised an eyebrow, finding it utterly absurd. After all this time, this turned out to be her true colors. Her previous maturity and composure were all just a forced facade. Mrs. Roderick rolled her eyes as well, looking utterly exasperated. Better not to have been born at all. At this moment, the long-disappeared bullet comments reappeared. Whoa, what kind of twist is this? The real heiress and the fake young master. This is great now. No need to worry about the two sisters fighting to the death. Plus there's an extra handsome brother to dote on her. So lucky, not necessarily a brother. Anyway, there's no blood relation. Fake siblings are also great to ship. My mind slowly conjured up another question mark. Paula, when was the fake heiress? The barrage of comments fiercely debated our relationship. Either we were like fire and water, or we got along well once I let go of my resentment. After all, Paula as a vested interest party, it's hard for her to gain everyone's forgiveness. But now the beneficiary has become Simon, and the barrage comments accepted it effortlessly. Why? Dad, Mom, what are you planning to do now? I asked. Mr. Roderick glanced upstairs and sighed helplessly. After all, that was the son he had painstakingly nurtured and placed high hopes upon. Mrs. Roderick, however, was delighted. I originally thought Paula wasn't my daughter, but now it's wonderful. I have two precious daughters and don't have to give up either of you. Paula, your sister has suffered a lot outside. We should treat her better, understand? Paula nodded with a sweet smile. I never expected I had a sister either. Tomorrow I'll take her shopping and buy her lots of dresses and beautiful jewelry. I smiled, not knowing what to say. Paula appears delicate, but her nature is simple. Clearly someone who was doted on by the Roderick family as she grew up. In contrast, the Roderick family treated Simon with much more severity. Mr. Roderick even slapped him once. Mr. Roderick and Mrs. Roderick adore their daughter, yet, when faced with the decision to send their daughter away, they showed both heartache and reluctance. Yet, I didn't force her to stay. Now, the same thing is happening to Simon, yet no one mentions whether he should stay or leave, as if he was effortlessly overlooked. But I don't want to just let it go. Me, Dad, Mom, what I want to ask is about Simon. What will happen to him? Mrs. Roderick helplessly glanced upstairs. Simon may not be our biological child, but we've raised him for so many years. Having an older brother to look after you two sisters would give us some peace of mind. After all, you and Paula will get married someday, when we're no longer around. If you ever get mistreated, you'll at least have someone from your family to stand up for you. I frowned, but Simon seems to really dislike me, even insulted me. I don't like him either, Mr. Roderick explained. That's because he couldn't bear to part with Paula as his sister, hence his hostility toward you. Now that Simon knows his true origins, he'll only feel guilty toward you. Naomi, don't be afraid. If that brat dares to bully you, Mom will definitely beat him up, Mrs. Roderick said while raising her hand, as if she were about to slap Simon across the face the next second. I also believe she would really slap Mr. Roderick. Mrs. Roderick have always been very strict towards Simon, showing none of the doting they display when dealing with Paula. Is this the Roderick family's different way of loving their daughter versus loving their son? Doting for the daughter, responsibility and expectations for the son. The air fell into silence, with only the barrage of comments flying wildly overhead. Naomi, what are you doing? Just because she was wronged, Simon would feel guilty and compensate her doubly in the future. Simon is definitely going to be a domineering CEO in the future. A domineering CEO brother spoils you. I'm so jealous. Get out of the comments section, you pampered wife. Fake heiress. Down with the imposter, real heiress. Fake young master, brother spoils me. I didn't insist on Simon leaving. After all, the Roderick household is still Mr. Roderick and Mrs. Roderick's decision to make. Simon is the one who has lived with them for over a decade, sharing a deep bond. Forcing him to leave might upset Mr. Roderick and Mrs. Roderick. Mr. Roderick and Mrs. Roderick went to talk to Simon and brought him out. His attitude towards me has undergone a major change. Naomi, I was wrong about what happened today. I shouldn't have scolded you like that. I blinked my eyes, squeezing out a few tears, but you were so harsh today. I was really hurt. Your clothes are so beautiful. They must be very expensive. While I can only wear second-hand clothes at the orphanage. If only my parents were here with me. My words made Mrs. Roderick feel heartbroken. Naomi, tomorrow Mom will take you to buy clothes, the best and most beautiful ones. Thank you, Mom. Simon gritted his teeth, grabbed my hand firmly, and spoke with sincere earnestness. I'm sorry. If I had a choice at birth, I would never have taken your identity. But what's done is done. From now on, I'll be a good brother and make up for all the hardships you've endured. He seemed genuinely remorseful, showing no trace of the way he had shouted at me during the day, but I still detected the hostility in his eyes. Why can't I be the older sister? I suddenly asked. Simon showed a fleeting shadow of gloom in his expression, but said nothing. Mrs. Roderick smoothed things over. It's all the same. Simon can be the older brother and take care of his little sister. I didn't dwell on the issue too much and said with a smile, all right, big brother. Simon stayed with the Roderick family, but Mr. Roderick still publicly announced our origins, officially adopting Simon as his foster son. Since my room wasn't ready yet, Mrs. Roderick had me stay with Paula for the night. Paula had been silent the whole time, seeming to be in a bad mood. What's wrong? I asked. She forced a smile at me but didn't answer. I asked her again. You've lived here since childhood. Were your parents and brother good to you? She nodded. Of course it's good. Mom and Dad love me very much. And my brother spoils me too. Since I was little, whatever I wanted, they would buy it for me. Paula is showing off something. Doesn't she know Naomi has suffered a lot? Before, she was the Roderick family's only little princess. Now that there's an older sister, she's afraid Naomi will take away the love of their parents and brother. She's enjoyed so many years of happiness. What's wrong with giving way to her sister? The barrage comments show Paula a great deal of malice. Even though we are both Roderick family's biological daughters, they still seem to think we would be like fire and water. Paula seems to have thought of my past as well, saying nervously, Sister, I didn't mean anything by it. Please don't be angry. Mom and Dad will make it up to you in the future. We all love you very much. After all, you're my sister. I shook my head with a smile. You're my own sister. Why would I be angry? It's clearly you who's upset. She shook her head. I'm not upset, actually. Paula had noticed the different attitudes her parents showed towards her and her brother, which always left her feeling somewhat unhappy. But when she thought of the love her parents had showered on her since childhood, and how her brother had stood up for her today, she felt she shouldn't be so petty. I carefully considered the Roderick family's household structure. If divided by class, Mr. Roderick and Mrs. Roderick are the superiors. While both Paula and I are subordinates, subordinates must rely entirely on superiors for everything, but they are parents. What we possess was originally given by them. The problem lies with Simon. Even though Simon was not a biological child of the Roderick family, he still held a superior position. The elder brother should dote on his younger sister. The elder brother protects his younger sister. Older brothers shouldn't bully their younger sisters. Doting, protecting, bullying. All these were unilaterally imposed upon us from above by him. If I'm not mistaken, Simon was likely groomed by the Roderick family as their heir. One was the protected, naive, and unworldly youngest daughter. A long-lost eldest daughter who might have been ruined after years of neglect. Simon, on the other hand, is the heir they have meticulously groomed for years to shoulder great responsibilities. The Roderick family would naturally never give up on him. I still think it's so unfair. Both are Roderick family heiresses. Paula grew up with the love of her parents and brother, while Naomi suffered for over a decade. Thinking about it this way, it's true, one is the beloved darling, the other a pitiful soul. Is no one paying attention to the invisible man Simon? He lived a privileged life for 18 years just like Paula, but Paula received love that was rightfully hers, while Simon was the one who took Naomi's place. I rolled my eyes. There was no need to pay attention to such idiotic comments. They always think that Paula and I are in a competition. The upper class effortlessly controls the majority of resources, such as Simon. Must the lower class still fight to the death for the favor of the upper class? Even if we fight, it should be against Simon. To publicly announce my identity, the Roderick family held a recognition banquet for me. I'm not familiar with people in the second-generation circle. Mrs. Roderick asked Paula to introduce me to a few friends. Oh my God. Paula might bring her own clique to isolate Naomi. That's how it always goes in those fake heiress novels. The comment above is delusional. Paula isn't a fake heiress. The bullet comments are overthinking it. Those girls are very easy to get along with. They are Paula's friends, and I am Paula's older sister. Paula likes me, so naturally they also hold great kindness toward me. On the other hand, Simon's group of buddies, I could hear their discussions from far away. Well, Simon, who would have thought you're not the biological child of the Roderick family? TSK, whether he's biological or not doesn't matter. Mr. Roderick kept him, which means he intends to pass the Roderick family to him. True, if we don't count on Simon. Who else? That princess with her heirs, or that country bumpkin from the orphanage. Paula overheard it too. She had never been one to tolerate things, and immediately rushed over. Ted, who are you calling a princess? You even insulted my sister. You're the country bumpkin. Your whole family is country bumpkins. The boy named Ted grinned cheekily. Don't be angry. You're not a princess with attitude. You're just a little princess. Simon spoke up to mediate. Paula, Ted was just joking. Simon, what's going on? Weren't you supposed to be the ultimate doting brother? I still think the sisterly bond is more heartwarming. Paula at least knows to stand up for Naomi. Ted, hurry up and apologize to my sister. I'm sorry, I spoke out of turn. Ted glanced at Paula, then turned his gaze to me. So you're Naomi? I nodded without saying a word. He gave me another once-over from head to toe, making me extremely uncomfortable. Both are Roderick family heiresses, yet the difference is so vast. Paula looks delicate and tender, while you resemble a bean sprout. Paula glared at him. What nonsense are you spouting, sister? Don't listen to him, you're just too thin. From now on, I'll make soup for you every day. I curled my lips. Both from noble families. How can the difference be so vast? My brother is so handsome, while you're so ugly. Not just ugly, but also lacking manners, making a scene at someone else's banquet. Ted turned pale, then flushed with anger, shouting, "Who are you calling ugly?" I pretended to be disturbed by his noise, covering my ears tightly, still yelling, truly uncivilized. You. Ted wanted to lose his temper but was stopped by the person beside him. All right, Ted, why get angry over a woman? I remember your families even had a marriage arrangement, didn't you? Before, the Roderick family only had Paula as their daughter, but now there's also Naomi. Who do you want as your fiancée? Ted sneered and laughed. Ha, Isn't it obvious? Anyone with eyes would know who to choose, right? He picked between me and Paula as if choosing vegetables at a market. Brother. Look at him, Paula shouted. I also looked at Simon, who remained silent the whole time, like a dead man. Simon reassured, Paula, Ted was just joking. Then he said to me, Naomi, the person specified in the marriage arrangement back then was Paula. Besides, you and Ted have no feelings for each other. I interrupted him. The way you say it makes it sound like I'm trying to compete with Paula. My gaze swept towards the Southern Song dynasty, my face filled with disdain. TCH. No one would want it even if it were free. Furious from embarrassment, the other person retorted, Naomi, who are you talking about? You're the one nobody wants. I'd choose Paula over you any day. Ignoring him, I turned my head and asked, Paula, is his family richer, or is ours? They're all about the same. Since they're all just about the same, Ted has no right to pick and choose with our family, a piece of trash trying to act like an emperor selecting concubines. Does he have brothers? You should go pick on their families too. I don't want to, Paula said with a look of disgust. Right, someone so ill-mannered isn't worth your time. Stay away from him from now on. Our discussion was neither too loud nor too soft. Just right for everyone around to hear. There was a burst of laughter from the surroundings. Ted felt even more embarrassed. He clenched his fists but couldn't start a fight in Roderick's house. Simon, control your sister. Simon had to speak up to stop it. Naomi, that's enough. Ted didn't mean to do it. I pretended to be naive. What's wrong, brother? Didn't you tell me that there's someone in your circle who's ugly, plays around, has no manners, and loves to flirt with young girls? And you told me and Paula to stay away from him. Yeah, Paula chimed in as well. Although Simon never said these things, it didn't stop her from joining in to scold Ted. Simon grew anxious. When did I ever say that? I covered my mouth in shock. You weren't talking about Ted. Then who were you talking about? Is there anyone uglier than him? As I asked, I kept scanning the crowd, determined to find the ugliest one. Ted got even angrier. Simon, is that how you talk about me behind my back? Ted, I didn't. I chimed in. Right, my brother wasn't talking about you. Ted pointed at us, unable to speak for a long time, then left in a rage. Simon, you're something else. My dear brother seemed to have lost a good friend. Actually, Ted might not have believed me 100%. He left, half because of a guilty conscience, because he knew he was truly ugly and genuinely lacked manners. At this moment, Paula leaned over and said to me, Sis, he really is ugly. The atmosphere instantly became somewhat awkward. Someone said displeasedly, Simon, you know perfectly well that Ted likes Paula, yet you still badmouth him in front of Paula. I never said that. Naomi. When did I ever say those things? Simon glared at me. I was instantly startled. No, Big Brother never said that. I understand. Big Brother just wants us to stay away from bad people, even if the heavens themselves came down. This blame would still be Simon's. He helplessly leaned closer to me and whispered, Naomi, what exactly do you want to do? All right then, Simon, just admit it if you said it. Don't scare your sister. Simon found himself at a loss for words. I quietly led Paula away. Is there really such a thing as an engagement? Paula shook her head. Don't listen to his nonsense. When we were kids, our parents did mention it verbally. But later Ted often bullied me and even cut off my braid. I really can't stand him. After my mom took me to the Wilson family to settle the score, Uncle Wilson didn't dare to mention the engagement anymore. Only Ted still takes it seriously and keeps bringing it up in front of me all these years, saying he'll marry me when we grow up. He's so despicable, yet Simon still befriends him. Every time he bullied me, my brother would make him apologize, but it didn't really help. I smiled slightly. It's okay. Next time Ted bullies you again, I'll slap him for you. Men's social tactics often subconsciously treat the women around them as resources. Simon could sacrifice his younger sister to become good brothers with the Wilson family heir, if he inherits the Roderick family. A marriage alliance between the two families would allow Paula to bring him tremendous benefits. During the holidays, Mrs. Roderick took me shopping everywhere to make it up to me. Paula also gave me many gifts, even giving me her treasured necklace. I also got to experience the luxury of the wealthy. Before school started, Mr. Roderick transferred me to a private school to attend with Simon Paula. During breakfast, Simon showed great concern for me. I'm worried that Naomi won't be able to keep up with the pace of learning at a private school. I chuckled lightly. Brother, senior year is just about review now. All the knowledge that needed to be learned has already been covered, Mr. Roderick praised. I've seen Naomi's past grades, consistently ranking in the top 3 of her grade every time. There's no other way. The dean told us that studying is the only way out for people at the bottom. I don't dare slack off. Simon nodded. That's good. It's just that the education level of public high schools can't compare to private schools. If you want to get into a good university, you still have to work hard. I pretended to be naive. Not really. In the last 7 school joint exam with unified grading, I made it into the top 10 in the city. Dad said my ranking was even higher than yours. His face stiffened, barely managing to maintain his smile. Is that so? Naomi has such good grades. If only Paula were as smart as you. Seeing he couldn't win the argument, he redirected the criticism toward Paula. Brother, you guys talk about whatever you want. Why bring me into it? Paula hated it when people mentioned her grades. Simon sighed helplessly. Your grades are so poor. Can't I even say a few words? If you're not as smart as Naomi, at least learn from her diligence instead of just playing around all the time. All right, I'm dumb, sister is the smartest. Paula was clearly angry. The barrage comments now also sensed something was off. Why do I feel like Simon is deliberately provoking and instigating a competition between Naomi and Paula? I think so too, actually, as long as the parents treat both daughters fairly. Paula and Naomi would have no reason to compete. After all, the Roderick family can afford to raise both daughters. I curled my lips, finding it amusing. I hadn't even done anything yet. Simon was the first to lose his patience. Paula doesn't need to be like me. She's already great on her own, winning so many awards in dance and music. I'm actually quite envious, I praised. Paula scratched her head shyly. It's really simple. You could learn it too if you practiced long enough. It's not simple at all. I've been tone deaf since childhood, even singing nursery rhymes out of tune. Clearly, you're the one with talent, hee. Sister is still the best to me. Big brother just keeps scolding me. Simon chuckled awkwardly. I only do it for your own good. Private schools may indeed have luxurious decor, but their discipline remains quite strict. Students can bring their phones, but they must hand them into the box on the podium before class starts. There are a few familiar faces in the class, all of whom Paula introduced me to, so I quickly settled into the new environment. My desk mate is a boy who wears glasses and looks quite gentle and refined. Are you Naomi? I nodded. Hello. I saw you at Roderick's banquet. I frowned, not remembering seeing him at the banquet, but out of politeness, I nodded again. I remember now. I've seen you before. Then what's my name? How would I know his name? Could his name possibly be Ted? Yes, Ted. Sorry, I was too busy scolding Ted that day to notice you. He shrugged with a look of malicious satisfaction. I was joking. I didn't go that day. Don't judge a book by its cover. He's anything but refined. I rolled my eyes and ignored him. He chuckled lightly and pushed a piece of chocolate toward me. Don't be mad. My name is Vivian. I didn't go to the party that day because I was catching up on winter break homework. I pushed the chocolate back. I'm allergic to chocolate. This is a cookie. Is that so? I'm allergic to cookies, Vivian. Vivian has a lot of snacks on her. The teacher is lecturing. I am listening to the lecture, and he is eating snacks next to me. The teacher noticed someone was up to mischief and walked over. Vivian calmly stuffed the half-eaten bag of chips back into the desk compartment. I glanced over with schadenfreude. The teacher's face was stern as she extended her hand toward him. Hand it over. Vivian closed her eyes for a moment, gritted her teeth, and pulled a phone from her pocket, handing it over. The teacher took the phone and left. Vivian picked up a potato chip and secretly popped it into her mouth. I was completely stunned. Bro, I couldn't understand. Didn't we all hand in our phones? I have too. Is this the main point? I wondered. He'd rather hand over his phone than give up his snacks. is this the world of a foodie? Vivian handed me that bag of cookies again. Want some? I accepted it, after all. He was quite sincere. In the first monthly exam of the semester, I ranked 5th in the grade. The standard of private schools is indeed better than that of regular high schools. It just so happens that my birthday is coming up. And it's also Simon's birthday. Mr. Roderick and Mrs. Roderick planned to celebrate. On my birthday, a dress appeared in my room. I thought it was Mrs. Roderick who prepared it for me, so I put it on without much thought as I went downstairs. I saw the Roderick family gathered in the living room. Paula was surrounded in the middle, frowning and looking downcast. Mr. Roderick said unhappily, "How did you do worse than last time? Your brother and sister both achieved good results this time." Mrs. Roderick tried to mediate. "Paula has always had poor grades. It's not a big deal. Our family can afford to support her. Don't argue on her birthday." Simon curled his lips into a faint, almost imperceptible smile, with feigned concern. He said, "Paula isn't as smart as Naomi. She struggles with learning. Maybe we should hire her a tutor." "A tutor won't help. Naomi never had any tutoring and still does well in school." Mr. Roderick snapped angrily. Paula teared up. "My sister is smart. My brother is outstanding, and I'm just useless. Fine, I'm not eating anymore." In a fit of anger, she turned to leave but bumped into me. "Sis, that dress of yours." Her expression instantly changed. Simon explained, "Paula, I gave this to Naomi. It's her first birthday since coming home, and she got good grades, so I gave it to her as a gift. But I had this custom made by a designer and waited so long for it." "Stop it, Paula. Your closet is full of dresses. You won't miss this one. Don't fight Naomi for it," Simon said, playing the role of the good big brother. "I'm not fighting. It was mine to begin with," Paula cried, her voice trembling with hurt. "Enough." I cut off their argument, reaching out to wipe Paula's tears. "Sorry, Paula, I didn't know this was your skirt. I thought Mom left it in my room. I'll go change out of it." "Damn it." Simon took Paula's stuff to give to Naomi. "Something's definitely wrong with him. I hate female rivalry the most. I hate female rivalry the most." But without some idiot guy stirring things up, how would these two sisters end up fighting? It suddenly occurred to me that in those old real versus fake heiress stories, it was mostly the parents and brothers showing favoritism that drove the two girls to fight to the death. Their hearts were so vicious. A dress, in itself, is no big deal, yet everyone was just angry about Paula's grades. Mr. Roderick, already furious, glared at Paula. "It's just a dress. How dare you cry after performing so poorly? I bet you've been focusing all your energy on dressing up instead." The situation was chaotic, so I turned to glare at the still stealthy Simon. He made no attempt to disguise himself and instead smiled at me. "Old Lynn, save your breath. It's not like we can't afford a dress." Mrs. Roderick stepped in to mediate, reaching out to pull Paula aside. "Sweetheart, don't cry. It's your sister's birthday today, so let her have this dress first. Mommy will find someone to make you an identical one later." Paula stood by with reddened eyes but still nodded in agreement. I declined. "No need, Mom. I never really liked these things anyway. This is Paula's dress, and it should be returned to her." Then I pulled Paula back to the upstairs room. When I handed her the dress after changing, she was still sitting on the bed crying. "What's wrong?" She turned her head away from me. "Ever since you came back, Mom and Dad and brother have all been on your side. They don't love me anymore." I suddenly felt a headache coming on. As expected, something went wrong. "I know Mom and Dad want to make it up to you, but I've been good to you too. I shared all my favorite jewelry with you, and I even prepared a birthday gift for you. But this dress was originally mine. You have no idea. I waited so long for it. I really love this dress." She spoke while crying. I sighed. "I know. The dress was always yours. I'm not going to fight you for it. Does it even matter if you take it or not? Big brother already gave the dress to you. Even if you let me have it now, I wouldn't be happy, and neither would Big brother or our parents. They'd just think I'm being unreasonable. You're so outstanding academically, Mom and Dad. They all adore you. But I'm so useless. I failed math again this time. Wah." She was crying in hiccups, even grabbing a tissue to blow her nose. I was on the verge of losing it. What are you laughing at? She glared at me. Paula, is this my fault? I asked her. Simon gave me something that belonged to you. He's the one who's not thinking straight. He messed up, yet he doesn't have to take responsibility. And now we're here arguing because of him. When the time comes, Mom and Dad will think you're being unreasonable and that my presence caused trouble, but they'll still see Simon as the responsible, good older brother. Paula seemed to have a sudden realization. Why should I? Yeah, why should I? I asked again. Your poor grades aren't a new thing. Why did Dad suddenly lose his temper this time? Paula thought for a moment. Because my brother said my math test was mostly blank. Dad misunderstood that I had a bad attitude and deliberately handed in a blank paper. But I really didn't know how to do it. I looked at the dress in my hand and asked, how much is this dress? Over 800,000. 80, holy crap, that expensive. I was shocked, but this is a wealthy family. I need to stay composed. I cleared my throat. Just a dress worth over 800,000, and here we are arguing over it, and Simon doesn't have to fight for anything. Guess what Dad gave him for his birthday? I and Paula walked downstairs. Mr. Roderick's expression had softened considerably. Mrs. Roderick, seeing that we weren't arguing, she couldn't help but sigh in relief. I've already scolded your father. What was he thinking, losing his temper like that? You two sisters shouldn't take it to heart either. It's just a dress after all. No matter how expensive, it's not more important than family. I chimed in. Mom's right. Anything that comes between our sisterly bond can't be any good. Simon flashed a hint of guilt in his eyes and remained silent. I gave him a sweet smile. Brother, giving me Paula's things as a gift is really stingy of you. I even prepared a watch for you. He calmly apologized. My mistake. I don't understand girls' preferences and thought you'd like what Paula likes. I shook my head, hinting at something deeper. I don't like Paula's things, but I like yours. What should I do? He gritted his teeth, suppressing his displeasure. I'll transfer the money to you later, then you can pick another gift you like. Thank you, brother. Because I turned 18, Mr. Roderick. Mrs. Roderick gave me a car. I can start driving once I get my license after the college entrance exam. Mr. Roderick was still worried that Paula might be upset, saying, Paula, when you come of age, your parents will also give you a car. Your parents will never be biased. We treat you both the same. Paula didn't have any objections. After all, she receives birthday gifts every year. I smiled slightly. Dad, then what gift did you give my brother? Mr. Roderick picked up a document. I promised before that once he came of age, I would give him 5% of the Roderick family shares. What the heck? Giving a car to the daughter, while 5% of the shares. How many cars could the annual dividends buy? Laughing to death. I was worried about the two sisters competing for favor. Turns out the most favored one is Simon. All right then, shower the daughter with affection and leave the family fortune to the son. Is that it? I immediately turned into a little drama queen, furrowing my brows. Dad, you just said you weren't biased, so why don't Paula and I have any shares? Naomi. Simon grew somewhat anxious, a flash of resentment flickering in his eyes. He had waited for this day for a long time and would absolutely not let anyone ruin it. Ever since learning he wasn't the Roderick family's biological son, he felt everything he currently possessed would eventually be taken away. Only the shares could give him a sense of security. Favor is fleeting, and luxury holds little value. Though those jewels may be expensive, compared to the entire Roderick family, they're insignificant. Only foolish women would compete for such useless things. What he has always wanted is the Roderick family, so he deliberately provoked, making Paula and Naomi fight each other. Even if they win the fight, what does it matter? They'd only gain some useless favor and worthless trinkets. He is the real winner in all this. Mr. Roderick opened his mouth but hadn't yet spoken. Paula interrupted. Dad, you're being biased. My sister and I were still arguing over a dress, and you just gave the shares to my brother. I want them too. Haven't you always complained about my poor grades? Promise me the shares, and I'll definitely study hard. Mr. Roderick sighed helplessly. Simon will have to work for the Roderick family in the future, and it's going to be tough. How can he establish himself without shares? I quickly reached out. Dad, I can also go work at Roderick's house. I'm not afraid of hard work. Paula also raised her hand. I might not be able to get into Roderick's house, but you could. Give me a little less. Simon finally couldn't hold back anymore. Naomi, Paula, running a company is about making money. If you want money, you can ask Mom and Dad. The family won't shortchange you. You are the little princesses of the Roderick family, completely free from hardship. Whatever you want, your brother will buy it for you. Simon isn't wrong in saying this. Others have to work hard for rewards. While Paula and Naomi don't have to do anything, they're pampered. If they're short on money, they just need to tell their parents or brother. Upstairs, I think you're right. Give me all your money, and I'll pamper you from now on. Simon's words are deceptive, telling us we can reap without sowing, but this means we have to reach up for help. Whether we get it or not depends entirely on his mood. Even if the Roderick family truly isn't short on money and supports us, yet we're like pets, without ideals, without aspirations, without the right to choose, existing solely for others' amusement day after day. Why should I hand over the Roderick family's absolute resources to Simon? With a solemn expression, I said, Brother, Dad, Mom, as they say, with great power comes great responsibility. Have you forgotten that my grades are even better than my brother's? He only ranked in the 20s, while I'm 5th in the grade. How can I let my brother shoulder this heavy responsibility alone while I become a freeloading parasite? Hearing this, Mr. Roderick's gaze swept over, his eyes deep and unreadable. I met his gaze without flinching. Mr. Roderick was a shrewd businessman. My little schemes couldn't fool him. He put back the document he had just picked up. Mr. Roderick had always groomed his son as the heir. After all, the younger daughter was useless, and the elder had been lost for many years, but now, the eldest daughter is also outstanding. As for the son, after all, he's not biologically mine. Seeing Mr. Roderick remain silent, Simon grew anxious. Dad, we agreed before. Paula didn't give him a chance, suddenly throwing down her chopsticks. I knew it. Mom and Dad favor boys over girls. Brother is your real child. Sister and I are leaving. Mrs. Roderick immediately felt heartbroken and reached out to embrace her. What nonsense. You're all my precious babies. Old Lynn, say something. Paula has been our pampered child since childhood. Naomi has been away from home for so many years. We owe her too much already. We can't be biased. Besides, daughters are our own flesh and blood. As soon as the words were spoken, Mrs. Roderick realized she had said the wrong thing. Simon. Mom didn't mean it that way. Simon turned pale. Mom, I know the Roderick family has been kind to me, and I won't ask for too much. I just want to manage the company well for Dad, so I can protect and take care of my 2 younger sisters. Simon is such a good brother, obediently leaving the shares to his sisters. I believe they will surely take good care of you. Well said. Why should we expect others to take care of us or spoil us? It's as if we're always in a subordinate position, relying on others to live. Mrs. Roderick also valued her son, but her purpose differed from Mr. Roderick's. In her stereotypical view, daughters were more delicate, which is why she raised her son, so that after she and her husband passed away, their 2 daughters would have someone to rely on and wouldn't be bullied. She genuinely hopes that Paula and I can live well. In the end, Mr. Roderick still took the contract back. I'll keep the shares for now. Simon, Naomi. After your college entrance exams, whoever performs better will receive this 5% share as a reward. He still chose the best one. Okay, thank you, Dad. Dad, what about me? Paula asked. Mr. Roderick had a headache. If you study hard, I'll give you one too. Simon lowered his head, gripping the chopsticks tightly. Everyone was satisfied with this dinner except him. At night, Paula slipped into my bed. Sis, do you think brother did it on purpose? I was startled. What, that dress? He deliberately gave it to you. She already had the answer in her heart. There was no need for me to say more. I actually understand it all in my heart. Dad is good to me, but he values my brother more. Since childhood, I've had endless money to spend, buying whatever I wanted, while Dad was very strict with my brother, making him earn everything through good grades. The family has silently agreed to hand the company over to my brother in the future. and even I have no objections. Since I was never the smart one to begin with, I patted her head and said, "You're not dumb, skills are developed through practice. Your parents intended to nurture you in the arts, so they had you study music and dance. But Simon, what kind of extracurricular classes did you take as a child?" "Paula, Math Olympiad." "Go-gee, Dad said girls are more emotional, suited for humanities and arts, while boys are naturally more rational and should study sciences." I snorted coldly. "Suited my foot. There's no such thing as innate. Some deceptive rhetoric, when repeated long enough, becomes conventional wisdom. Because people believe boys are more rational, they encourage them in science, and through this encouragement, they become rational. Then everyone concludes that boys are more rational and better suited for science. Men are better at science. What a joke. Paula, you've always been outstanding. The Roderick family nurtured you in the arts, and you've achieved the best. Winning so many awards, and Simon was encouraged in science, yet he didn't achieve the best, not even matching me." Paula suddenly perked up, indignantly saying, "I knew it. I really am a genius. They said I was stupid." Me, in the darkness. Bullet comments flew across the screen. I thought this was going to be a catfight story, but it turned out to be so heartwarming. What female rivalry? It's merely the game rules set by those in power for the underlings, luring them to compete with crumbs, making them work for them, and ultimately justifying taking the lion's share of the cake for themselves. In the middle of the night, I was startled by a shadowy figure when I went downstairs for water. "Simon, are you out of your mind?" In the darkness, his expression grew even more somber. "Naomi, what do you want? Status, clothes, jewelry, family, love. You have it all. Mom and Dad gave you so much money, you lack nothing. Why must you compete with me for the shares of the Roderick family?" "Compete?" I sneered. "I am naturally the daughter of the Roderick family. Since Dad has agreed, why shouldn't I have them?" "A woman shouldn't have such grand ambitions. Wouldn't it be better for you to be an obedient little princess like Paula? I'll also treat you like a sister and be good to you. Whatever you want, I can give it to you." I found it laughable. "What do you mean you can give it to me? Isn't everything you're using right now mine? After squatting in the magpie's nest for so long, you start thinking of yourself as the owner. The fact that I haven't kicked you out already shows how kind-hearted I am." "Fine." He gritted his teeth, enunciating each word. "You forced me into this, don't regret it later." This was the first time since returning to Roderick's home that Simon and I truly had a falling out. The second semester of senior year passed quickly. I achieved good results in both mock exams, consistently ranking within the top 3 in my grade. During afternoon self-study, I took a break to use the restroom. When I came out, I found the door wouldn't open. "Is anyone there?" As I tried to force the door open with a kick, a bucket of water came crashing down. Such a cheap trick. Naomi is being bullied at school. In the past I would have suspected Paula, but now I think Simon is more likely the culprit. I also suspect Simon. The door won't open, and my clothes are soaked. The phone is also in the classroom. I could only shout a few more times, hoping someone passing by would hear. After being trapped for a long time, the door was opened from the outside. "Naomi, what's wrong with you?" It was Vivian. "Got bitten by a dog." He gave me his coat. "Thanks. How did you know I was here?" "I'm next door. I heard someone shouting." "Quite a coincidence." I chuckled lightly. "Stop laughing. You're soaked through. Hurry back and change your clothes." A faint unease stirred in my heart. "Is that all?" It wasn't until I got my phone that I saw Paula's message to me. Damn it. I cursed under my breath. "What's wrong?" Vivian asked. "My sister got locked up. Paula was locked in the equipment room and asked me to find someone to open the door for her. I've been stuck in the bathroom for so long. I don't know how she's doing." I rushed to the equipment room door just in time to see Paula being carried into an ambulance. Blood was streaming down from the head. Simon stood right beside the ambulance, turning back to lock eyes with me, his gaze filled with malice. In the hospital, Paula remained unconscious. I sat beside her watching, my hands trembling with fear. She truly is a wonderful younger sister. Even after learning she had an older sister, she didn't mind at all. Instead, she shared everything she had with me, splitting it all in half. When others spoke ill of me, she would always get angrier than I was, standing up for me without hesitation. But I wasn't a good sister. I had guarded against Simon harming me. But I hadn't guarded against him targeting Paula. Perhaps I thought he wouldn't be so cruel. After all, they had been siblings for over a decade. Or perhaps, I never truly cared about Paula to begin with, let alone her safety. Mrs. Roderick rushed over anxiously and said with concern, "Paula, how did she get injured?" Standing nearby, Simon was the first to speak. Paula was ganged up on in the equipment room. She's covered in injuries, and the back of her head was hit by a heavy object. She's lost a lot of blood. The doctor said there's no longer any danger to life. Mrs. Roderick held Paula's hand, her heart aching as tears streamed down her face. How could there be such people at school? This child has never suffered much since she was little. Even a scraped knee would make her cry in pain. I comforted her, saying, "Mom, the police are already investigating." Mrs. Roderick only then noticed me. "Naomi, why are your clothes completely soaked? Are people at school bullying you too?" I didn't know how to respond. At that moment, Simon coldly questioned me. "Naomi, Paula sent you a message when she was locked up. Why didn't you go? If you had arrived earlier, she might not have been so badly injured." I looked up at him. "Simon, do you really not know?" "I know what? I have no evidence, nor do I know if this has anything to do with him." "Mom, someone locked me in the bathroom and poured water on me." By the time I saw the message, it was already too late. Mrs. Roderick looked at Paula, then at me. Without uttering a word of reproach, she gently patted my head. "Don't be afraid, Mommy's here. No matter who hurt you, your parents won't let them get away with it." My eyes stung with tears, and I couldn't hold back from crying. At this moment, I truly felt a sense of belonging to home. Since childhood, I've been used to independence and had little attachment to family ties, even when I returned to the Roderick family. I only saw it as a battlefield, constantly thinking about how to secure more benefits for myself. Father, mother, sister, they all feel like strangers to me. Deep down, I've never considered them family. Simon wants to play games. Fine, I'll play with him. The rest of the Roderick family are just tools for me to use. But seeing Paula lying here, I suddenly feel I've done something wrong. I should have talked to my parents beforehand, at least warned them to be wary of Simon. "Mom, I'm sorry." Mother reached out to wipe away my tears. "Why are you crying? This isn't your fault. Those who hurt Paula were all first-year high school students. The police interrogated them one by one, but they all insisted that I was the one who instigated it." In the hospital corridor, Simon sternly reprimanded me. "Naomi, the Roderick family may have wronged you, but if you have any grievances, take them out on me. Why harm Paula? Are you jealous of her? But she's always been so good to you." I ignored him and turned to explain to my mother. "Mom, it wasn't me." She patted my hand. "Mom believes in you. Your dad has already gone to talk to the school administration to investigate." "Simon, you can't wrong your sister without evidence." Mom, ever since Naomi was found, she's been competing with Paula in everything, outperforming her academically and causing Paula to be scolded by Dad. She even fights with Paula over dresses. Outsiders say Naomi can't compare to Paula, which is why she holds a grudge. "Simon, are you out of your mind?" I scolded. "I've always had a good relationship with Paula. Clearly, you took her dress and deliberately shoved it to me." Suddenly, crying could be heard from the hospital room. Paula woke up. "Mom, it hurts so much." She kept crying out in pain after waking up. Her mother gently comforted her by her side. Her father also rushed over. The surveillance only captured those few students, and they all said it was Naomi who ordered it. "Naomi, do you have anything else to say?" Simon demanded. "Oh no, Paula and Naomi aren't going to turn against each other, are they? I finally found sisters who don't engage in petty female rivalry. Please don't let this happen." All fingers are pointing at me, and I have no evidence to prove my innocence.
His biological father, hardly anyone cares whether he lives or dies. Transactions between men, helping each other out, require only the sacrifice of women. Vivian was Simon's plant to deliberately get close to me, only to stab me in the back at a critical moment. Last time I was locked in the bathroom, that was his doing too. Faced with his father's accusation, Simon defended himself. "Mom, Dad, it wasn't me, I've checked. You've indeed been in contact with that boy from the Anderson family, but I'm not close to him. Just because we've had contact doesn't mean I instigated it." Simon refused to admit. Mother took a deep breath and asked, "If you didn't do this, then what about Paula?" What? "It was you who bribed those people to put Paula in the hospital." "Paula is soft-hearted, but I won't be." After returning from the hospital, I told my parents about Simon's intentions. They couldn't just take my word for it and doubt the son they'd raised for years, yet they didn't dare to fully trust him either. Simon's money all came from the Roderick family. Upon checking, the father discovered a sum missing from his card, transferred to the families of those students who had assaulted him. "Mom, Dad, I really didn't do it, please believe me," with all the evidence right in front of him. Simon still wouldn't admit it. Father said solemnly, "Whether it was you or not doesn't matter anymore. Out of consideration for our years together, we won't hold you accountable. Now that you're an adult, we have no obligation to support you anymore. You should leave." OMG, can you believe it? The toxic male supporting character is finally getting written off. We've seen plenty of devoted male supporting characters, but a toxic one, that's a first. Simon looked incredulous. "After all these years calling you Mom and Dad, you're really going to abandon me? Is it just because I'm not your biological child? All you care about is blood ties. There's no real affection at all." He pointed at me and said, "How long has she been with you? Yet she's more important than the son you've raised for over a decade." My parents remained silent, had his belongings packed, and forcibly made him leave. Still, they softened and transferred Simon a sum of money, enough to support him until graduation. Back in my room, I received a call from Vivian. "Naomi, can you come out to see me?" His voice was weak, filled with fear. "What's the matter?" "I'm sorry, it's fine, I'm hanging up." "Naomi, I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have lied to you. Can you please talk to your parents for me?" My parents told the Anderson family about Vivian drugging me. Vivian was already unpopular with the Anderson family, and now her life is probably even harder. "Vivian, you offended me first, and I hold grudges." I hung up the phone and blocked him. On the day Paula was discharged from the hospital, our parents reserved a restaurant to take us out for celebration. Noticing Simon's absence, she considerately didn't ask further. Although the results haven't been released yet, my father still transferred 5% of the shares to me. "What about me?" Paula asked. "If you pass the art exam, I'll give you shares too." "That's fine then." Happy ending. Have you noticed, the villainous female supporting characters are either green tea bitches or white lotuses, always framing others, like falling down the stairs and blaming the female lead. Why don't villainous male supporting characters do such things? LOL, they totally do. Simon had Paula beaten up and framed Naomi for it, didn't he? He doesn't harm himself to frame others not because he's kind, but because he can't bear to hurt himself. Girls, learn to cherish yourselves more. After that day, the barrage comments disappeared. I thought it was a good sign that life was finally getting back on track. On this summer vacation day, Paula and I went shopping and got manicures. On the way back, we hailed a taxi. Never expected to be kidnapped in such a dramatic fashion. Passed out in the car, and when I woke up, I found myself taken to the outskirts. Hands and feet were tied. A middle-aged man stood nearby. "Is this a kidnapper?" "Who are you?" "My family has money, we can." "Shut up," the man snarled. "Did Simon put you up to kidnapping me?" The man kicked me and raised his dagger. "One more word, and I'll kill you right now." He quieted down. Paula woke up and was immediately scared to tears. I comforted her. "Don't cry, sister, I'm scared." "Don't be afraid, my legs are sore." "Don't be sore." With great difficulty, I managed to touch the bracelet on my wrist and activated the tracking. The kidnapper was on the phone. "Save one life, 5 million. Transfer it to the account I sent you." "You're so greedy." My parents tracked the location and quickly drove over. 10 million has been transferred. Now let my daughter go. The man smirked sinisterly. Too late, 10 million can only save one person. Choose. He moved the knife back and forth between Paula's neck and mine. Should I save the beloved daughter I've raised for over a decade, or this one who was just found? Paula was too terrified to move, afraid that even a slight tremble would get her throat slit. The father shouted, "I'll transfer the money right now. I'll have another 10 million sent to you." The man laughed loudly. "I don't want money. I want lives." I said you can only choose one. What an outrageous either or choice. We can give you money, as much as you want, just let my daughter go." The mother was already crying in desperation. How could you kidnap someone without wanting money, right? If not for money, what else would someone kidnap people for? If only one is let go, what about the one left behind? Should they be killed? Killing someone would leave him with no way out either. Unless he never intended to survive in the first place, already determined to take one of us down with him, to perish together. What does he stand to gain by risking his life? Dad, Mum, save Paula first. Paula is timid and not very strong. If I stay, I have a better chance of surviving. The parents were torn, unwilling to give up either. I said to the man, "Let my sister go, and I'll stay." While I was still fantasizing about my heroic sacrifice, I overlooked one thing. Reality is different from fiction. In reality, there are police. The man had just raised his knife to finish me off when he was shot by police hidden in the shadows. Paula was immediately scared unconscious. The police have investigated and clarified everything. The kidnapper is Simon's biological father. Ever since I was brought back to the Roderick family, my parents had someone investigate what happened back then, on the day of the earthquake. Aside from my mother, there were 3 other pregnant women giving birth. 2 of those pregnant women had no issues, but the remaining one was never found. That person is Simon's biological mother. Back then, seeing my mother dressed in luxury, they harbored ill intentions and deliberately switched the babies, yet they didn't want to raise me and abandoned me instead. Simon must have reunited with them long ago, after leaving the Roderick household. Simon had grown accustomed to a life of luxury and found the money in his hands insufficient to sustain it. They orchestrated this kidnapping plot, not only to extort a large sum of money but also to kill me out of spite. 2 months later, Simon and his biological mother, who had been on the run, were apprehended. The family of 3 was finally reunited, behind bars. One day, Pearl suddenly had a whimsical thought. "Sis, do you think we might end up liking the same guy someday?" "Me? Are you having a puppy love?" "No, it's just a hypothetical question." She pressed further. "What should we do if we both really fall for the same person?" I sighed helplessly. "Do you remember that dress of yours that cost over 800,000? She nodded. "Remember this principle: anything that threatens the bond between us sisters is no good thing." The end.